Hi, how are you? Thank you for joining me today. I am going to talk about a planner, and I have been using this particular planner for the past 2 years, and it's ongoing for the third. So I'm going to introduce you to it, and I really, really love it. I have introduced to quite a few people and friends, and they all love it. I did a video last year, uh, and I have received great feedback on it, and so I just want you to learn about it and see if that is something that fits your need. Perhaps you might want to get one for yourself before or at the beginning of 2020. So this is the brand new one that I got. It comes in this box. I just took it out earlier because it was kind of hard at the beginning, but it's the Freedom Mastery Law of Attraction Planner. I know it's a mouthful of words, but in short, I call it Law of Attraction. But if you can see, this is metallic finish. It's a dream catcher um, cover that I picked this year. It's a pinkish metallic, pink metallic, and and I'm going to show you my last year was a gold one. It's a metallic as well as the 12 zodiac signs. And the one before it was, I think, a girl meditating under the tree, a big tree. It's a green one, but it's not metallic. So I try to pick a different cover every year, and they do seem to come out with different colors. Every year, some of them are to repeat, but some might be new, so you can check it out. And if you don't want anything that's too fancy, if you're a guy, they do have the plain one that's black and brown, so that's equally, I think, elegant, but it's in a simpler way. But for me, I just wanted to, um, be a little bit more colorful, right? So it's funny because the first year, this is what I want to share my story. The first year I used the green one, and it's like I said, it's a big tree, and there was, I think, a girl meditating under the tree, and I forgot what else it is, but it's green. It's very peaceful. I really like it. That one is not metallic, but it does get just a tad dirty, and the metallic one fares really well with the dirt. So I kind of like it. This might not be my particular favorite color, but I picked it. It was fine. I was okay with it. But my point is, I felt like that because I do use it a lot. If it's pretty much every day, but if it's not, it's like 5 days out of the week. And I do. I will go into a little bit what I do every day, but because I look at it all the time, right? And the first year was the meditation, and that was around the time that I really wanted to create a consistent meditation habit, which is every day, And at that time, I was skipping, here and there, only if I felt like I have time, and usually I don't. So it wasn't consistent basis, but then um, it could be the subconscious mind, looking at this, even though I wasn't quite trying to pay attention, because you just take it out and then you lay it on the desk and then you start writing it. And that is a repetition, right? And I was able to get to a very consistent basis that I meditate every day, and even on the weekend, because weekend was really, really hard for me because I have two young children, and the first thing I get up is to think about their breakfast and things like that. And over time, I was able to really take the time out every day to meditate. It could be sometimes could be just 5 minutes, but it's the process and habit, to just keep on going every day. And so I had this zodiac sign that I was looking at for the past, I would say 10, 11 months, and or 12. And it's funny because I am just recently started diving into astrological um, information and classes, and I'm learning quite a bit about it. And I was just thinking about it the other day. I was like, oh my gosh, that kind of came true. It's law of attraction when you look at something every day. So that's why when I picked the 2020, I picked the dream catcher because I felt like it's time to realize my dreams and to really step into my dreams and make it happen. So I can't wait to see. But now I'm more conscious. I wonder what kind of results and action or the process, how it's going to turn out. If it's more, uh, like I said, if it's stronger emotion or it's the same, but I will tell you maybe next year when I do this video again. And again, so this is a law of attraction planner. So what I got is the dated deluxe yearly planner. You can see this year they have even coded the size same as the front cover. And last year they didn't have it. Last year was just regular white, and the year before they didn't. So this is a new feature. It looks really nice, but again, even without this, it's not a showstopper. And then they also added the pen holder elastic thingy. So I think that's really nice. So you can put a pen in, so you won't be having a planner without a pen. And they have this, so you can kind of hide it so it doesn't get ruined in the backpack or in your purse, because when you're busy and shoving stuff in, it can, mess up some of the paper and things like that. So I always like that elastic feature. So I'm gonna go through this. I might have dropped something out already because I did a video before, but I didn't like it because I have a big pimple last week. So when you open it, it's a bunch of stuff. There's a coupon, and which I will show later. And there's a bunch of stickers and thank you notes. They ask you to share a review if you can't. So they have a bunch of stickers. I never use these stickers, so I think some people, some people, they are obsessed with sticker, how much money they pay to, decorate their planner. But I'm not that type of person. I just write. So they have some motivational statements. And then they have index, so you might take a lot of notes. And then they have a map, law of attraction roadmap. So I think that's really, really cool, especially as your first year using it. And then they have questions to empower your day. I really encourage you, if it's your first time or even like every year, read it. Or when you have time, it shows the emotion frequency, when you're the low, some of the ones that are really low and what are the higher ones, and then you wanted to achieve to be in the higher state of emotion at all times as much as you can. And there are different ways that you can do to maybe release your stress and and really getting into the higher state. And then the next one, it goes into why the author or the owner of this company created this planner. And I, honestly, before I found this, I've been looking for something somewhat similar to that. So I'm really glad that he did. And how to prepare yourself for this life-changing journey. And I really feel like it depends on how much effort you put in, how much dedication you put into using this particular planner, and I think it can be a great tool if you are willing. And so this is one of my favorite pages. It's the goal setting. So it's the 50 goals, the lifetime goals that you have and you would like to achieve. And I really liked it because the first year I did it, it was my first time because I never set that many goals, or at least I never write down all the goals that I have for my lifetime, right? And you always have maybe one or two long-term goal and a couple of the short-term goal, and it changes every year. But it's great that you can see all of them all at once here. And so I really, if you don't have time, and which I hope that's not the case, do this page. For me, it's life changing because after like a year ago when I did the 2019 planner review, I noticed that for 2018, quite a few of the short-term goals came true, and I wasn't even looking at it consciously every day. I didn't even look at it. I wrote it down, and I just let go. I never go back to it. And by the end of the year, I noticed, oh my gosh, I achieved quite a few goals. Some of them are just taking art classes. So that's really awesome. And then it talks about harmony on all levels. So you can, write down, mapping your goals, to different areas and see how balanced you are. And then there's a calendar. And then it's like, it kind of really guides you through, how you want to achieve it, what you want to achieve it, and how you want to do it. I'm not going to go into it because there are instructions at the back, so don't worry. This is your life statement. So from what you have done so far, it's going to help you to create your life statement. And it's always good to read your life statement. And although I haven't, but it's always a good habit because it's really putting your priority, your goals and dreams on the topmost priority. And the more time you spend on it, prepping the condition of your mind, the more likely you're going to achieve it. At least that's how I see it. Now, this is the strategy skills, the skills that you want to master, the old habits that you want to unlearn, people who influence me in a negative way, accountability partners, tasks to delegate. It just kind of, in all aspect, right? What are the things that you can do and be a little bit different so you can spend more time on your goals and dreams and attracting what you desire. So this is create a new supportive story. That's really, really cool. And then these are the 2 pages, and chunking the bigger goals into smaller goals, so it's more bite-sized and small steps, that it's not as overwhelming. And then now it starts. So it's pretty intense. I would say the first 20 pages or so, and if you are willing to spend a couple hours, I would say at least, or it could be more, at the beginning of the year or end of the year, before the beginning of next year, I think that would really pep you and condition your mind. And then just read it every day or every week or at least once a month. I think that's really, really awesome that you are creating. You are really on the way to success. And sometimes some goals might take longer than a year, but at least you are on the path, right? And instead of just, oh, I want to achieve this, but you're just kind of wishing all day long and you don't take action. So what we want is, we have the vision and we are taking steps towards it. I think that is the recipe for success, right? And be positive and have faith. So now this is starting the monthly calendar page, right? And then so what I love about this is you always have kind of the monthly goals that you can put down. What are the big goals that you want to achieve every month? And how are you going to reward yourself and things like that. And then they break it down to action steps if you want, and then space for notes. And then the next page would be, again, goals for the week. And then the slot is from 5 o'clock to about 10 o'clock or 10:30, but at the end of the slot it's 10:30 for me. And then every day you have priorities, and then the top 3 things, and then the reward for yourself each day, right? So I think it's really cool, depending on how you work. On the side here, it's the week's priority. So you can list them all down, and then you can break it down into each day. however way you want to work it, because sometimes I do put it down here and I just leave it. I mean, I just left it and then I don't fill this in. And I find lately that if I do this side, also this side, because when we are focused on each day, when you open the planner every day, I would like to see the 1, 2, 3, because then it kind of get me on track. Sometimes I achieve all three, sometimes not. Sometimes I have 6 per day. Sometimes just quick phone calls and emails, and that can be done rather quickly. Um, so things like that, I really like it. So you can really break it down to daily actions. Now, what I like to do is on here, I keep track of my time. Every 15, 30 minutes, even the drive to work, drive to school, I would do that. And, the time that I meditate and work and cooking. So, like for me, I guess I'm OCD this way. Sometimes I would, years ago, the whole day would go by and I wouldn't know what I have done. And so for, since the past 2 years, I've been writing down how I spend my time. And if I ever wonder, I can go back. And sometimes you can see your pattern, and maybe if you really don't have time to pursue your dreams and goals, then you ought to see how you're going to spend your time and how you're going to change the way that you're spending your time. Is it too much time, going shopping or doing stuff for other people, which is awesome, but you need to find a balance between putting yourself first and achieve doing the stuff that you desire, and spending time with others and helping other people. This is just an example, right? And then there's a to-do list at the bottom, and then there is the positive habit maker that I really like too, because I use this to track my exercise, and also I use this bottom to keep track of my supplement intake. So that really helps me say, oh, did I remember? Did I forget? How often did I forget during the week? And then it's going to be the same, the next week. So it's all going to be repetitive now. But there's one thing I want to mention. It's for the monthly calendar. Of course, you can do whatever you want, but I'm going to share what I do is I write down the 3 meals that I take. I do have some skin issues, and so I use this to mark down the important things that, like write down what I daily intake. Just very simple, not too exact like measurements. Just what kind of food I put into my mouth on a daily basis, and anything that kind of marking the day. So let's say I have a lot of pimples in one day, and I would want to write, if I remember, I try to remember, and I would write them down. And if I have started having blisters, or I burn myself, I try to write this down, because it kind of helps me to backdate sometimes, or sometimes a week would pass by, I was like, or a month would pass by, I was like, oh, just to look for patterns, I was like, oh, last week I had that too, I wonder if it's triggered by food, or what is it, so it really helped me to see the pattern that I'm making or I'm creating. So this is what I do, but of course you can write down your appointments and things like that. So appointments I write down here, and I color coded them depending on it's my appointment, or my kid's appointment, or whatnot, right? So and then, oh, what's beautiful is every page is a different quote. It's a different inspiring quote, so I really like it. So I'm gonna take you to the end of the month. Seems like this is a long month. Okay, so end of the month, it's reflect on your month. So your top 10 achievement, what did you learn, the distraction, how did I make myself feel good, what did not happen. So it really helps you to reflect, okay, so what are some of the changes that maybe you can tweak, you can do in order to achieve a better balance. I think that's what it is. socializing, how's your finance, how's your health, things like that. It's all about um, maintaining a balance or harmony within yourself. And then here's are some of the questions that you can answer to help you get more insight. What's the greatest insight that changed over the past month? How do you feel your progress? What obstacles or fear did you encounter? Watching your emotional level, what is the most common negative emotion that you have for the past month? And did I fully enjoy whatever I was doing this past month? Right. So I think it's really, it's really helpful and insightful to help you to reflect. And then these are the ideas and notes. Sometimes, in 2019, I'm a little bit lacking, but 2018, I did, for the most part, I would go in and type up, or even write down my summary, because at that point, I did journal. So I would go back to my journal and really write down what are the things that came through, what are my emotion, what are things that came through, and then I put them here, and then it will. You will know why, because at the end of this planner, it will be a yearly planner. I think it's really, really good habit for you to always be aware of your emotional state, as well as what are the insights that you are getting. Do you see a trend, a pattern? Because at the beginning, I'm just talking about me, I was maybe like sad, like more sad and depressed than anything else. Out of the whole month, I might, 20 days out of the whole month, I might feel a little down and sad. Just, you don't know why, you just wake up that way. But then maybe 6 months later, 9 months later, you start feeling, oh, you know what? I might have more days that I'm happy and less days I'm sad and down. I think it's hugely important, because as you write down your journey, you can reflect back, and who knows what that can be used for, right? You might be at a point to write your book, and then for me, it's always going back and to kind of review your journey and see, like, because we forget there's so much information out there, and you just forget, oh, I mean, this is kind of roughly where I was at a year ago, but you don't remember any details. So it always helps for you to have something to reflect back. But of course, that's extra work. But with this planner, you can block out the time, right, to help you achieve the things that you want to achieve. So again, this is February. I'm not going to repeat, it's the same thing. So by the end of the planner, at the end of December, this is very similar, but it's reflect on your year. Okay, so it's very, like I said, very similar. And then it design your next year, so it helps you to bridge, to the next year's planner. I haven't quite done this even for the past 2 years, so I've been meaning to. Maybe this area will be helpful for me to see my progress for the past 2 years. And there's a lot of blank pages like that. And quite a few. So you can write down these. So this is the instructions. Well, it's about guidance, not so much instruction. You can do whatever you want, but this is the guidance on how to use this planner. So they kind of show you their examples and how you can use it. And I really could kind of mimic, what they're doing using their guidance. So I think it's really helpful, because sometimes when the first time when I got this, I'm like, oh my God, I don't even know where to start. But they kind of give you some guidance and, statements that they created, the positive statements. So tips on better manifesting, how to use this planner. Okay, so I think you get the idea. So, and there's a world map, the places that you want to travel or that you have been already, right? So this is pretty awesome. And then there's a pocket at the back of the page. You can put whatever stuff that you want to. It's a paper one. So that's about it. Like I said, this is my third one, and I really like it. I honestly, I do. I don't promote anything that I don't like or I have not used before. So, or at least I will let you know. So this is an awesome one, and I have heard great reviews for the ones that I introduced this planner to. So give it a try. I put some links, on my post, and then you can get access to it. And I this year, okay, I think I ordered like maybe 12 days ago, and I got it within 2-3 days. So the shipping was pretty fast, at least. And so they're ending doing the pre-order right now. Oh, got a little chip here. I think maybe when I pulled it out, I broke it. This is the first time. So I was pulling out of the box, and wow, that happened. Okay, so you can't really tell on the front, but on the side you can tell a little bit. So, well, at least you can kind of see a real life, right? I think that's it. So let me know if you have any questions, and I wish you good luck and enjoy the planner for the ones that is going to get one. So I would love to hear your feedback. So I'll see you soon and talk to you soon, and have a good one. Bye bye.